for LeBron James.
Oh, my! Now, Duncan rotated in to help out on that, but there was no...
What if LeBron James never retired? What if the man who's defied every expectation for 2 decades simply kept going season after season until the NBA had no choice but to quietly phase him out? Is there even a version of the league without LeBron in it? Or has he become too legendary to leave? It sounded like an ordinary interview, until he said it. LeBron James admitted that his time in the league is almost up. He didn't say exactly when. 1 year, maybe 2. But he made one thing clear. He won't be playing until the wheels fall off. He's not that kind of player. The king is starting to imagine life after basketball. For fans who've watched him dominate for 22 seasons, that admission hit hard. It felt like the final countdown had begun. But here's the thing. What if it doesn't end the way we expect? What if LeBron did play until the wheels actually came off? Not just retiring as a great, but stretching his career until he was no longer good enough to even make an NBA roster. It's a wild idea. Most legends fade out long before that moment arrives, but then again, most legends aren't LeBron James. Because even now, approaching 40, he's still playing like a star. In fact, this season, LeBron's stats are comparable to MVP candidates in their prime. He's averaging more than most players a decade younger. His presence on the court still warps defenses, dictates the pace of play, and brings gravity like few others ever have. If you stripped away the names and looked purely at the numbers, you'd have a hard time guessing he's been in the league for over 2 decades. So how long could he keep going? Not emotionally. Not based on fan hope, but statistically, scientifically. When does father time finally catch up? Every great player eventually hits a wall. Kobe, Duncan, Shaq, they all had late career moments of brilliance followed by rapid decline. 1 year they're all-stars. 2 seasons later, they're gone. What's different about LeBron is how steady the decline has been, if you can even call it that. There's a way to measure this. The metric is called box plus minus, BPM for short. It captures a player's all-around impact. A BPM of 10 is historic. MVP level is around 8. A rating of -4 puts you in the bottom 15% of the league, the guys hanging on at the end of benches. Most great players fall off that cliff after their 17th or 18th season. LeBron? He's still hovering around a BPM of 5. That's better than most starters in the league. In fact, if you chart LeBron's decline using estimated plus-minus, another all-in-one stat, he's losing about 0.5 points per season. At that rate, he wouldn't even be a bad NBA player until he was 46 years old. Not just on a roster, but still useful, still contributing. Not a ceremonial bench spot, but a rotation guy who gives you minutes, makes smart plays, and mentors the team while grabbing 12 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds a night. Think about that. Year 29, age 46, and still better than 30% of the league. It sounds insane, but LeBron's career has been defying logic since 2003. He's outlasted 3 generations of NBA stars, adapted to every evolution of the game, and kept his body in such elite condition that even major injuries haven't slowed him down. Most players decline because of physical wear. They lose a step, can't absorb contact the same way. Their vertical shrinks, their reaction time lags. But LeBron's physical maintenance is unparalleled. He recovers faster, trains smarter, and somehow, despite the mileage, keeps producing. Not at MVP level anymore, but at a level high enough to impact winning. The only other players who've stayed effective that long were guys like Tim Duncan, who aged with grace and precision. Duncan's stats dropped, but his value stayed. The same could happen with LeBron. Maybe his scoring dips. Maybe he stops dunking on 7-footers. But his mind, his feel for the game, that's not going anywhere. He could play in the post, facilitate from the elbow, guard slower wings, and outthink 75% of the league until he's pushing 50. And maybe that's the future. Not the LeBron who's flying down the lane for a chase down block, but the LeBron who backs down a rookie, spins and dishes a no-look pass. The LeBron who controls pace, mentors teammates, and quietly chips in 15-7-6 without ever needing to be the star. Not chasing rings anymore, just playing because he still can. Let's be clear, he has declined. This isn't 2013 Miami LeBron or even 2016 Finals LeBron. His prime is behind him. But that's what makes this even more impressive. Because even with 70% of his former explosiveness, even without the same speed, he's still among the best 20 players in the world. So how long until he's no longer good enough? Statistically, if his current pace continues, LeBron wouldn't fall below replacement level until season 29. That's 2031. That's not just rare, that's unprecedented. No NBA player has ever lasted that long while still contributing. Not Kareem, not Vince, not Dirk, no one. And even that assumes the decline continues steadily. What if he plateaus instead? What if he levels out at 40% effectiveness and just stays there for another 5 years? It's not impossible. Some skills, like passing, positioning, and leadership, don't fade with age. LeBron is built to survive in those areas long after the dunks are gone. It's wild to imagine. But we may not be watching the end of LeBron James. We may be watching the beginning of a different kind of career, the ultra-long one. The one that rewrites what's possible for superstars. The one that makes 20 seasons look like halftime. And if that's what he wants, if LeBron truly decides he'll play until the league has no room left for him, then maybe the only thing that can retire LeBron James is LeBron James. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the game's greatest stories, only on Isaac Weah.